Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. We're going to go ahead. You can't hear me? You can hear me. I don't need a microphone, even with a head full. We're going to go ahead and get started. As we do, we have a lot to get through today, so I want to make sure that there's plenty of time at the end for any questions. So we're going to start with inviting our chaplain, Lori Whitmer, to come up and bless us with an opening prayer, please.
Thank you. What a wonderful afternoon here in November. And I'm just thankful for community. That's my note of thanksgiving as we start off this month of gratitude. And so I'm thankful for each one of you who can demonstrate to me that community, healthy community, can happen as we take care of one another. Let's pray. Lord, I thank you for the privilege of gathering together in this space. Thank you for those who are also watching from their homes. And Lord, I just pray that you would continue to build community among us as we listen to the reports, as we listen to the things that are happening here from an administrative point of view. And I just ask that, God, you would continue to guide and direct and give wisdom. This I ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Lori. We're going to go ahead and have Billy Torrey come up. Down.
Okay. And do I have to point back there?
I don't know. I just pointed it around.
Okay.
I'm just going to sit right here because I got to get back up.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to talk, give you some updates about the Menno Haven Auxiliary. As you can see here on the screen here, a couple of things I'd like to remind you about. If you've ordered ham loaf, just a reminder that pickup is next Thursday, the 13th, from 1 to 3, right outside of the lower level here of the event center. Just drive your car through and we'll hand ham loaves into your car window. So, or put it in your trunk, wherever you prefer. So that's just a reminder. And we thank you again for all of you that participated in that, ordered ham loaves or donated ham loaves this year to the Salvation Army. They are always very appreciative of that. Then my next reminder is the gift card sale, the Raise Right gift card sale. You probably have all received a flyer for that. That sale is happening through next Friday, the 14th. So you can turn in your order form to any of the front desks here at Northgate Renaissance Life Center. And those gift cards will arrive early December. We'll notify you when they arrive to let you know that they're here and get those delivered to you so you can give them out. I know many of you like to get those as Christmas gifts. So again, we appreciate you for doing that as well, helping us through that. A few more things, fundraisers that popped up since I have given information about the town hall meeting. Whoopie pies. How many of you like whoopie pies? So we're trying to do some fun and adventurous things in our stores. So we have teamed up with Culinary Services, and they're going to make us some whoopie pies starting on Monday, November 17th, while supplies last. Of course, the village store is open from 9 to 3. And then at the Chambers Point store, they're open from 9 to 12. The whoopie pies are going to be $2.75, and we'll have 2 varieties, chocolate with cream filling and pumpkin with cream cheese filling. So again, these will be while supplies last, and if we sell out quickly, I'm told we can place an order for some more rather quickly, maybe within a day or two. So that's something else we have in the works. Panera Bread fundraiser. We did this back in July, and they emailed us again, and they are having another 30% of net sales. So I know December is a busy month with the holidays and everything, and you probably are doing lots of baking and cooking. And so maybe take the evening off and support the Menno Haven Auxiliary by going to Panera Bread. And that will be on Thursday, December the 11th at the Norland Avenue Panera Bread from 4 to 8 p.m. We will pass out a flyer to all of you because you do have to have a flyer when you go to order that show them that you're there for the auxiliary to raise funds for us. So look for the Panera Bread flyer in your mailbox soon. And my other exciting news is the store, the auxiliary store that's over at Chambers Point. It used to be downstairs, and it was a good distance away for residents to navigate their way there. So we've worked with maintenance, and thankfully the Manor building allowed us to take over a space that once was an office, and we have converted our little store, the Point, upstairs now on the first floor of the Manor building. So when you go in the main entrance, it's just down the hall, a couple doors down. You would go in and I guess go to the right, to the left, okay, to the left. Sorry, I don't know my left from my right today. So yes, it's a very nice. It's small. It's a smaller, but it looks beautiful. The ladies did a lot of work on Saturday to get it set up. It opened for the first official time today. I stopped up briefly this morning before the town hall meeting at Chambers Point, and it was hopping, and they were already making some sales. So we're excited to be up on the first floor where we're a little bit more visible to the residents, easier to access and to guests. Over there. And with that being said, they are currently open from 9 to 12. I am putting out a plea if anybody has any interest. We are looking to extend the hours over there like we are able to here at the Village Store from 12 to 3. So if you might have interest in volunteering over there, please let me know, and I can get you signed up and we can get training. We might not start that till the beginning of the year, just till we get fillers out to see if anybody would have interest in helping us to extend the hours over there. So, and I think that's all I have. So, yes? Correct. I have that to submit to get that corrected for December submission. Thank you. And back to Tiffany.
Thank you. It's okay. All right. Well, we were prepping for getting our slides together, and I kind of was like, I don't have very much to talk about because the team has all the announcements. So most importantly, my big show off today is this. Look at that little man right there. Is he not the cutest? Matthew Hayes was born Sunday evening, 10/26/25. I was shooting for 10/25/25 because that just sounded cool. But he is on his own schedule. They are home, doing well, adjusting to real life. My daughter is... I blame her dad because I don't worry, and she worries enough for 3 people. So, I'm constantly, hey, Mom, he hasn't done this. Hey, Mom. And I'm like, he'll be fine. Yep, you're fine. Put away the Google. Stop looking at it. Just let it go. It'll be fine. You survived. And I even think I dropped you a time or 2. So you're fine. It'll be all fine. And she just does not get my lack of worry, but they are doing quite fine. And I'm like, you got to give yourself grace. He's 8 days old, right? He can't tell you what's wrong and what's going on. So it has been a joyous thing for us to open up this new chapter in our lives, and I'm really, really excited. So I was a little MIA last week, but back to work, and happy to be back to work, but happy that this baby is a part of our lives. So thank you, everyone. I've got some cards and some calls, and it has been a true, true blessing. All right. The next thing I just want to give an update on is did it move? Okay. The Brookview Healthcare Center. Look at that picture. Doesn't even look like anything happened in there, huh? Looks beautiful. I think all of the claims have been placed into the insurance company. All residents are back home. And now we are just working through the task of regrouping. Right? So we know when the Brookview Healthcare Center flood occurred, it impacted not just the Brookview Healthcare Center, but it impacted the Village Square, the Chambers Point Healthcare Center, and the rehab. Because all of those folks needed a place to go, we had to put a stop on external admissions. And so now we have to dig back out. And what we do know from that time, those several weeks being offline at the Brookview Healthcare Center and the impact to the other areas, we have an estimated $1 million loss in revenue. So it is a task for our admissions team, but one thing that I know from experience around here is that this team knows how to rally. They do not give up. They are tenacious, and they are going to do everything possible to get us back to the volume numbers that we had prior to the flood. I don't have the amount or the big price tag yet on the total cost and total damage loss for the expenses of, the flooring and the drywall and all those things, but I'll get you that number. But we're waiting for the insurance adjusters and all those to kind of wrap that up. A question came up earlier today at our earlier town hall about that $1 million in revenue lost. We do have a business continuity insurance plan as well, and have been gathering all that data, all of that information, and sending it off to that insurance adjuster, and we'll see what they come back with as well. Okay, but my knee jerk is we'll be talking about it next year at this time. Right, how insurance goes. So I have absolutely no expectations that I'll have everything wrapped up in a pretty little bow for you next month. Likely not going to happen. But I will definitely keep you in the loop once I know for sure. Okay? Any questions about that before we move on? All right. I am going to hand the clicker and the microphone off to Mr. Charles Nelson. Hey, no pressure, but y'all hit the cookies pretty hard. So if you haven't got one, you better beeline it at the end. No, I'm good. You make me nervous.
Well, good afternoon. I hate this up here because I brought slides because I can't see it. And they put it on back there, but I couldn't see that either. So anyway, good afternoon. And as I told the group this morning, Tiffany told us yesterday that after we went through all our slides, the senior team, well, I don't have anything to say, so I'm not going to say much. But as usual, she surprised us. You always have something, and I can tell you right now, I didn't have a baby, so I don't have a baby to talk about. My grandson youngest one's 11, so that's been a long time. Okay, I want to update you on what's going on. Forgot I had a mic. Kind of a macro view of all that's been going on this year, and we're not done yet. And I know many of you have been involved in some things, some all, and we have a lot going on, but thank you, and they've all been successful. Okay, just to show you a little bit about the what has been happening is we had 1,302 donations this year, which is a good increase over last year, but last year was a good year. We had 71 team members apply to the CARE program for help. You know, things are tough out there, and I got a funny feeling they're going to get tougher. And we were able to help them all. We did 16 projects, which I'm going to go over. Beginning of the year, I didn't have any idea what we were going to do. But many of you stop in my office, Chuck, let's do this, let's build this, let's do that. Well, before I knew it, we had more than we knew what to do with, but we funded them all, and I'm sure you'll have some more for next year. I hope so. And 6% of our independent living have donated, which it was about 46 last year, so that continues to increase. Benevolence, as you can see, we've already spent $763,000 this year. We figure that as of 12/31, it'll be $977,000, and we gave away $52,000 out of the CARE program, and I think that's our highest year yet. So big demand. Okay, the projects, the dog park gazebo. You know, we built the dog park a couple years ago. We raised the money, have a beautiful gazebo down there, and we had a party, because they have a party every day on nice days at 4 o'clock, and all the dogs come and their owners, and they have one good time. The village park, right back of the pavilion, they have they've put all new landscaping. I think that was their original landscaping. Looks nice. We did a new pier at Reflection Lake. Northgate gazebo tables. They requested tables. If you haven't seen it, and a lot of people wouldn't know that in the middle of Northgate there is a nice little, and it's not too little, an area, and they have a gazebo that's very private. You ought to go back there sometimes. Good place to meditate. We are purchasing nativity scenes. We have ordered them. We have them. We've had some residents that come. The problem is a couple of our nativity scenes were headless, and that didn't look too good. So we're going to have Jesus is missing too, and that is a problem. Yeah. So we have 2 for this campus and 2 for over at Chambers Point. And if you haven't been over to the Chambers Point Beauty Salon, we gutted it, and a resident paid for that. It is it's night and day from the old one. The Leader gazebo bought all new furniture. They have parties, and they play cards back there. It is on the north side. You can't see that, but pretty much on the last street back there. It's in back of the cottages there. Branch Creek signage. We're trying to give more exposure to Branch Creek. We had a pitiful looking little sign. Well, this sign's almost as big as the building, so the people are going to see that. Have you seen the culinary carts? We have one here and one at Chambers Point, and that was interesting process. Not only we'd raise the money, but designing those, and then designing the boxes on the back so that they keep the food hot or cold, and they are very heavily used. As you know, we built the Hope House, and that was a challenge, but we paid for it all. It's up and they're in. And this I'm going to show you doesn't seem like much, but the Renaissance doors at the pool. I'll go over that. And we have some projects to complete yet. The chapels. You'll be glad to hear this, those of you who go to the chapels. You know, for the last 6 months, we've had a problem with the sound systems, and I mean a problem. But we now have contracted, raised the funds for that, to completely replace the sound systems in both chapels. It is a new era. And like we used to, residents volunteered and did that. And the test was, I'm not too technically minded, if I could run them, anybody could run them. So they're going to be easy. If you want to volunteer, please see Lori. And we're looking for a leisure van, for IL to take trips and stuff. And someone suggested a Mercedes. I looked at one of those the other day. You know, they're over $100,000, but someone's offering to pay, so we'll see what we get. And the Life Center patio, we got all the furniture. And I'm going to talk about something we're really going to do here in a minute that's really going to be neat. And the entrances to Brookview and to Chambers Point are completely going to be done over. We started here, as you come in the main entrance, we have an individual who was a great friend of Menno for years. He passed. And he left a very, very large trust with the Franklin County foundation, and we'll get about $80,000 a year perpetual. But he wanted it use it outside, so we have a lot of plans for that. Okay, a little update. Benevolence has been really doing great this year because we've got to raise over what we spend because we're trying to build a trust there, because we know in the years to come it's going to get more and more pressure to fund residents that run out of funds. And I did get 2 pretty good size estates this year. And usually we don't get our major contributions in this fund till after today through the end of the year, so I'm real excited. We'll never raise enough money to totally fund the program for the future, but we're getting close. The Mahee Fund, which is a Menno Employee Appreciation Fund, which is the team members are looking for those checks, and they truly appreciate it. And last year we raised about $200,000. Now it cuts off the 22nd of November, so it gives us enough time to get the checks ready and divide it up between the staff. But I think we'll make it. Friday and today, this morning, we got 20,000, and a lot of them will come in now. And I'll be explaining to you in a minute how we divide that up. Menno Cares, we got 6,600, and we have more that we have to put in there. Hope House is paid for. Elder Day, we have our 2nd year campaign. We just sent it out a couple weeks ago, and that's doing very well. And Branch Creek is still something we're experimenting with. We did a mailing into last year, and we're doing a mailing here. It'll go out in a couple weeks to help fund. That's one of our great outreaches to the community. Now, take a look at this and then forget it, because I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen. But we've had so many residents say, you got to do something with the patio. We got a beautiful patio here, but you will cook during the day in the summer. So we've met with a number of companies. This is the one we like. We'll at least get half of it done. It runs about $250,000, but I'm getting a price on the rest of it. I think we can raise it. But they're louvers, and they will close. If it rains or snows, there'll be fans in there. And this will become a real venue because you have the grill here. Come down here for dinner in the nice weather, and you won't be burnt. I got a couple questions the last time about benevolence. How does it work? Quickly, I'll tell you. If you have run out of funds, to qualify, first we kind of look at it as you would with Medicaid. If your income is down to $2,100 a month and you have less than $8,000 in assets, you can apply. And you work with our billing office. They will fill out the application. And there's some other information you've got to get. Then it goes to our CFO, Ryan, and he goes through everything tooth and comb. And then it goes to the executive committee with his and Tiffany's, well, hopefully recommendation, and then it's ratified by the board. And I'm telling you this because I want you to know that we protect your money. When you give it in good faith, we're going to handle it in good faith. But it's there for those, and about 20 people now, and there's going to be more. It changes from time to time. So that's how it works. Mahee, well, the Mahee Fund started by the residents about 15 to 20 years ago. No one exactly knows when. And as they passed on, Menno always did the bookkeeping, but we've decided to take it over as of the first of the year, and we were able to get it that it is tax deductible, your contributions. It wasn't before. So they are now eligible for a tax deduction. This is divided between all the staff members, but the executives and the directors. It's done by their hours, And so everyone gets a different amount, depending whether part-time, full-time, whatever it may be. It's very fairly done. And we'll be giving out the checks here. You can give to this until, I believe it's the 22nd or 23rd of November, because it takes us a while to accumulate all this, to divide it up. Then we have to get divide it up to the team members. So anyway. Web page. If you haven't been on there, this is easy to use. Even I did it, made a contribution on it. More and more donors are using that. Easy way to make it. Okay, some other things are going on in 25. RMDs, your required minimum distribution from your IRA. Once you turn, well, now I believe it's 73, they moved it up. You have to take out a certain amount depending on your age. And a great way to give. They'll let you give up to $100,000 a year. You can give it directly to a nonprofit, which we hope's us. And so I cannot tell you, probably every week I have, this time of year, 10 or 12 that come in. It comes directly to us. You don't take a deduction, but you do not show it as income. So it doesn't raise your adjusted income that keeps you out of a higher tax bracket. It's a great way to give. The next one is securities. And if you have stocks and you haven't made any money on them, you got a problem. Don't ask me. I'm a registered investment advisor with the SEC, but I have no idea why it's going up. But it is. So if you got appreciation, you can give that stock. If you paid $10 and it's 30, you can write off the 30 and you pay no capital gains. It's a great way to give, but you got to do it before the end of the year. Year-end appeal, you got to give by 12/31 at 12 midnight on the 31st. And we look at the postmark date or the check. And we get a lot of them in then we have to go through. We did sign an agreement with a company out of Mechanicsburg that are top-notch. They are grant finders, and they write the grants. There's a lot of money out there, believe it, that you can apply for. They're either through the state foundations, the feds, whatever it may be. And we have a number of them out for Elder Day to see if we can expand to 5 days, and for a generator for the Life Center, and to tie in the business office to the, rehab center. Get this mixed up, there's a lot going on, because we have an extra capacity there, but they got to dig a hole in the trench and get it hooked up. And then Menno is always in need of vehicles. We definitely need some for Menno at home. And I just had a call from a resident Friday, and she says, Chuck, I can't drive anymore. I can't see. And I said, well, please don't drive. But I want to give you your car. So I'm going up to see her after this. And you get a tax deduction, and we take care of the transfer. Okay, now this might not seem like much, but a resident came to see me about 4 months ago. She lives at Chambers Point and says, Chuck, we've got to do something about the pool doors. That they don't have an open on it. You're pushing people with a wheelchair, a cane, a walker. People have fallen. And she says, give me a price. And she told me about that before, and she's always giving me a check for whatever it was. And it was $35,000. She paid it. They are in now. There's a few logistical things we have to do, but that is going to be great for the people to have a little bit of a handicap. Okay, John Littenswab. John, he's a bag man, and we have, like he said, collected 520 pounds. Man, I'm telling you, that is a lot of bags. And we have a way to go, but once we get to 1,000, we get a nice new bench made out of plastic or that Trek wood. So it's a great way, but it makes you think, how many plastic bags are floating around there in the whole country? I'm telling you, but we're doing our part here. Okay. The chaplains who do a fantastic job, And they report to me. They don't do much reporting. They just said, I'll pray for you every day, Chuck. Okay, do what you want to do. And but they have a lot going on this time of year. But the special thing is November 20th, right here at 2 o'clock is our Thanksgiving service. I try to get here every year. Kind of sets the tone for the holiday season. And I want to thank the chaplains for what they've been going through the last 6 months with these sound systems. It has been a nightmare, but they've held up better than the senior team has, because we were frustrated, to say the least. Okay, we're having collections here of food to give to Branch Creek. A lot of those people have a very tight budget. And you have a table out here, and we have all those tables around that we're collecting food till the 16th. My wife did a big bag this week, and I brought it yesterday morning. I was down here taking it out, putting it, organizing it on the table, and I said, hold on. I was going to eat that. And I almost put it back in the bag, but I said, well, that's like stealing from the offering place. You're definitely going to hell for that. So I left all the food there. Yeah, sure. That's me, and we have a young lady, the youngest in our group, and her work doesn't start till she gets home. She's got 5 kids, so.
I'm adding it to my badge now. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck, do you have the click?
Just playing a trick.
He keeps everybody on their toes. All right. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So today I just have a few things, a couple updates I wanted to share with you all when we talk about initiatives around retention for our team members. So a couple months ago, back in August, we launched a new recognition platform called Nectar. And through Nectar, this allows us to celebrate our team members, appreciate them, recognize them for their service, recognize when they go above and beyond, and also for living the mission of Menno Haven. And through Nectar, they can be recognized by their peers, by leadership, but also by residents, visitors, and family members. And that's what I wanted to highlight here today. Since August, we've received 47 shout-outs, or team members have received, in total 47 shout-outs from residents, just highlighting the good that they're doing out there. So these quick 5 that I threw up there from all around the organization, but I wanted to emphasize or kind of reiterate, because I think there's some verbiage out there, but we have yet to go kind of in front of you to communicate how to do that. So you should see a flyer like this with that QR code on how to go ahead and recognize a team member. And some helpful tips that we ask is that you do fill out their first name and last name if possible. That just helps us identify the person. But if you don't know their last name, if you can enter their location and their department or position, that would be helpful. And on the far left, you'll see what that submission form looks like. It does ask as well to enter your name, but you can submit it anonymously. Any questions? Okay. So aside from the QR code, there is a link on the resident portal as well that will bring you to that submission form too. Okay. And now going along with retention and appreciation, a key initiative we had focused on was around loyalty and belonging of our current team members. And so as we focus on recruitment, we focus that much more on retention as well. And back early in 2025, we had evaluated the effectiveness of the sign-on bonuses that we had out there to hire for certain positions. And so through that evaluation, we determined that the sign-on bonuses that we had advertised were not so much increasing the volume of applications or keeping those hires on our payroll. So what we did was we discontinued those sign-on bonuses back in July, and we reallocated those dollars to go towards what we will roll out January 1st, called the loyalty bonus. So currently, team members do receive a work anniversary bonus when they reach certain milestones. So when they're here 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, and so on. But under the loyalty bonus, we have expanded how often the team member can receive a loyalty bonus. So you'll see the chart here. So for years of service, 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, all the way through 50. And actually how many team members in 2026 will be receiving those loyalty bonuses. So a total of about 380, which we hope would have a significant impact on the retention of our team members versus just handing out the sign-on bonuses in hopes that they stay. Okay. So yes, the sign-on bonuses do help with recruitment. However, we fully believe that on the other side of things, it will help recruit people as well. Look at us providing a loyalty bonus to our team members because it matters that you stay here long-term with us. Any questions? No? I will add though too, since we took down those sign-on bonuses, our application flow has not decreased whatsoever. We still have lots of interest in employment here at Menno Haven. So in no way is this a loss reallocating those dollars. Okay. And I believe Denise is up. Which way is the arrow?
All right. All right. Oh, I understand now what they're talking about. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Get all the stuff here. Okay. All right. So we have a lot to cover here from the community life side of things. First, I'm going to start with sales and marketing. To date, we had 5 lots along Scotland Road. We have 3 of those fully built and occupied, with 2 of them remaining for the marketing team to work with prospects for new construction. In Franklin Square Commons, right across the street from the rehab center, Menno Haven owns 3 of those properties. 2 of them are currently occupied, with the 3rd one being under contract, with a move-in scheduled for the first quarter of 2026. We also are working with another owner in potentially purchasing our number 4 unit over there. That may happen before the end of the year, but we are working through some logistics of that right now. When we talk about available units for the marketing department to have available to offer out to members of our Now Club, which is our Neighbors on the Way paid wait list, or any other prospect, those are units that have been released by the resident back to Menno Haven. So sometimes we're in a short-term stay, so we're not releasing that unit back, or sometimes we've made a full-on transition. But until the resident actually signs the release document, we do not market those, okay? So I know sometimes there's a little bit of, hey, this unit beside me, they've already moved out. Can you offer it available? We can't until the resident actually turns that unit back into Menno Haven, and there's a formal process for that. So when my numbers don't match what you guys see in your neighborhood, that's probably what's going on. So what we do have right now is we have 3 cottages here on the Brookview campus that we're currently actively marketing and showing to prospective new residents. We have just 1 cottage over at Chambers Point that is available. For the remainder of this year, we have 5 in process for making the move into Menno Haven this year before the end of the calendar year. And we have 5 more that are already signed on with selections and refurbishment taking place for move-in in Q1 of 2026. So we have a total of 10 people on the way in and 3 units on Brookview and 1 unit on Chambers Point that is not occupied. So that math to me means we have 14 that we have not anybody in, but people slated for. Make sense? Okay. Next slide. So the marketing team has been talking pretty much all year long about this revisions to the Independent Living Handbook. We're looking at streamlining it, making it more utilitarian, better organization, and things like that. We had a rough draft, and we solicited some help from some of the residents across both campuses here at Menno Haven to give us some feedback on that, to give us this looks good, this looks bad, and everything in between. Because so many times I hear residents saying, well, this is what you have in the document, but let me tell you how it really works, right? So we are hopeful to take all of that feedback, which was many hours spent by many of your peers to give us some really solid feedback, suggestions, and hopefully we're going to come out with a product that is very valuable. But what I also say is a printed document is only as good as the date that it was originally printed, because so many things here are constantly changing. So until we get to a digitized actual publication, it may always feel like it's a little behind, but can I bring it up closer to being current than what it is today? So I'm saying that probably we're moving to sometime in 2026, and that publication will then be ready for distribution. Okay? I'm going to switch gears now and move on to the community nurses. So recently, the community nurses hosted a fall health fair, and I hope I updated this correctly because I was told about it. Okay, I got the thumbs up from the back of the room. We're good. All right, so at the health fair, there were vaccinations, and some of those vaccinations occurred by our team, and some of them were through Walmart. Walmart was doing, I think, pneumonia and COVID, and our team was doing flu shots. And so we gave out 120 flu shots by our team. So that's a lot of shots for one day's work, I think. Additionally, if you came into the health fair, any of you who participated, we had Diane and Electa who had pulled your personal information. Some of them go back probably to whenever you first were admitted into Menno Haven's independent living. Those sheets give us information like who your contact people are, who your POAs are, what telephone numbers we should be using and publishing, and things like that. It's really important that you get those sheets that belong to you and get them updated and back to us so that we have good, solid information should we need to have any contact with your contacts. And also, you've heard Tiffany talking a lot about this mass communication tool so that emergency preparedness and things like that. What we're working on is making sure that all of our data is current and accurate so that as we move toward going live with a vendor, that information is ready to roll. So that's part of also the ask in that. So I have in the back of the room for Chambers Point, any residents or Chambers Point, you will meet with Diane, who has your information with her today. So that happens. And also Electa, who's at our Northgate front desk. If you have not taken a look at your list, I would encourage you to get with her today before you leave this room so that you can get your information and start getting that updated for us. This is going to be a major project for us to be sure that we have all information correct and as up to date as possible. We are vetting out a couple vendors right now for a mass communication tool. And so positioning ourselves and getting ourselves prepared for when we're ready to go live with that is really, really key and important. It would be the one thing that would hold us back from going quickly. Beautiful things about that is you're going to be able to decide how you want to receive notifications from us, whether that's a landline phone call, a cell phone call, via text message, or via email. So you'll be asked for some preferences on that as we go along. So I just encourage you all to make sure that you're getting with our front desk personnel to get that updated. And do it today. Tiffany's coaching me and saying, and do it today. They're here. Okay. So a lot of you have already gotten the information about what we've done when Carol Marotte retired. It gave us an opportunity to relook at a few things and how we could strengthen our bench a little bit to better support residents of independent living and ensure smoother communication, sustained growth, and support transitions across the continuum. With that, we brought everything under Amy Haas, who is our Director of Home Care and Independent Living. So she had a job title change, and brought Menno Haven at Home Services underneath of her leadership. In that, we brought on Jackie Lovejoy to be our community clinical or community case manager. And in that role, she will be responsible for the daily management and oversight of our home care services and supporting residents through care transitions. Sam Pence, we know as community nurse, which that's still part of her job responsibilities. Her title has changed to community clinical manager. So she will be doing the same kinds of things she did as community nurse. Plus, she'll be adding nursing oversight for independent living residents, supporting through care transitions, and coordinating health clinics and caregiver education initiatives for our at-home services. Our housekeeping services will be streamlined for greater consistency and efficiency. Pam Gibbons will continue to provide leadership over the housekeepers at Menno Haven at Home, while Amy will focus her efforts on bringing together the expertise of both our independent living housekeeping teams with our Menno Haven at Home housekeepers and the caregiving aspect into one unified model. These changes are in place with a mission to remain the same: to provide exceptional care services that support residents to live confidently, with dignity, and the highest quality of care. They will, community clinical and community case managers are now located in the Menno Haven at Home building at 1715 Philadelphia Avenue. So if you were used to going to the community nurse's office, it will now be located in the Menno Haven at Home office, okay? Along with that, we're one unified model here. The team is actively thinking of new ways that they could come along and provide support to residents of independent living. So I don't know how you guys feel about decorating for the holidays, but if it's a passion of yours and you just want an extra set of helping hands, our Menno Haven at Home team is equipped and ready to help you simply just getting the boxes out or doing the whole thing, start to finish. So they are there to help with an extra set of helping hands to ensure that your holidays are bright. They also have enhanced the services for our pet care. So if you just need a little bit of help or a lot of help, regular help or just occasional help in the area of taking care of your pets, Menno Haven at Home is also a really good resource for you there. Phone number is the same, 709-4550. Takes a little minute to get signed up, but please go ahead and do that, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is our wellness team. Billy and I hosted wellness focus groups last week, and we are collecting all of the information that we heard. So it was resident-led. It was kind of like, what are you doing that you should keep doing? What should you stop doing? What should you start doing? And everything in between. The responses are designed to better help us understand barriers, the motivators to get more people active and involved in our wellness and fitness programs, and to also identify any areas to expand classes and provide variety. Our residents were very clear in what they liked, and we got a lot of really, really good feedback. So it's now up to us to take these findings back to our team and see what, if anything, we can implement. So more information will come as we get clearer in what our vision is based on that information. How many of you watch The Voice on TV, NBC, The Voice? Yeah? Excellent. Well, the judges, or I guess they're judges. They're not really judges. But anyway, the coaches of The Voice, they are always just trying to get to the 12 members for on their team. And so it feels like we've been searching for a little while, but I can say our team is full in leisure coordinators. So I would like to introduce Carol Ecton. Carol comes to Menno Haven with lots of experience in travel and event planning background. She is a graduate of Boyd Travel School, which is one of the leading travel institutions in the United States that is known for providing practical training in travel and hospitality to prepare students for dynamic and rewarding careers. I don't know how many years that you've spent in the hospitality industry. I think it was some. But she comes to us. We're very lucky to have found her. She's already started. Yesterday was her first day. She came back today. But she already gave us some helpful hints on a couple things that we have in the works. So we're really excited to have Carol on board with us. So if everyone could just give Carol a warm welcome, that'd be great. All right. And don't be a stranger to her because she's not going to be a stranger to you. But outside of work, Carol enjoys aerobics, outdoor activities like biking and hiking. So make sure that you stop by and say a warm personal welcome to Carol. With that being said, oh, did I forget to slide? I didn't. Okay. With that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about our leisure coordinators because this is part of her training, so she knows we got stuff going on. So we have a resident-led model railroad club that was in existence, then it kind of went dormant for a little bit, and now we're in the process of rebooting our model railroad. So we are looking for anyone who's interested in pursuing their passion for model railroading. There will be a meeting on Thursday of this week at 3 o'clock in the Champions Lounge upstairs. We are hopeful that we will get a group of people together that can help us to put some trains out for the holiday season, because I think that's one of the times that you really believe, kids and trains at the holiday season is just kind of a thing. But we're hopeful that we can get those set up in some of our buildings here at the Life Center, at the Personal Care, perhaps at the Village Square, perhaps over at the Manor. But we need some help. We need some people who are interested in model railroading to kind of kickstart this off and use their skills to bring joy to others the holiday season. So if you have any interest at all, big or small, please come on Thursday at 3 o'clock. Who do we have that are veterans in the room? Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you. In light of that, we want to honor you for the service that you've provided to our nation with a Veterans Day luncheon. Billy does say that there is an RSVP on that so that we make sure that we have enough food and set up. But that will be held on Thursday, November the 13th at 11:30 in this room. So please allow us to thank you for your service to our country. That same day, we're going to keep you busy. And I also heard there's a Parkinson's support group here at 4 o'clock. So 11:30, 4 o'clock, and now it's 6 o'clock. So you can have a lot of eating going on. We have a comedian coming on site, a family-friendly comedian is what I'm being told. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your families, because it will be a night full of fun and laughs as we welcome Seth Knorr to the event center. So I'm hopeful that we'll hear a lot of belly laughing coming out of here. And prior to that, you might want to stop by the grill and grab some dinner. That'll be on Thursday, November the 13th at 6 p.m. It's time for the tree lightings. Woohoo! So this year, we're starting at Northgate on Tuesday, December the 2nd, and the next night, Wednesday, December 3rd at the Renaissance. We have hired some musicians to come alongside us in two different types of musicians to come alongside us at each of the two events. So you want to make sure you don't miss either one. There'll be heavy hors d'oeuvres, there'll be the tree lighting, there'll be just the joy of being together with others at the holiday season. A great way to kick off just the joy of the holiday season. So I hope to see everyone at both locations. So that is, mark your calendar for that. And then I just have a couple other calendar updates. The first one is the birthday lunch. I know sign up was quote unquote in Haven Connect yesterday, but if you have a November birthday and have not signed up for it, today is your day. You can still do that. The birthday lunch will be held at Chestnut Landing next Tuesday, November the 11th at 11 a.m. Generally, on Fridays, we have a men's breakfast hangout. That's what it's called. That usually happens on Friday mornings. We do have an event in this room on Friday morning, which is causing our grill to be closed for breakfast and lunch on Friday. So we have moved the men's hangout to Thursday morning at 8:30. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that schedule change. And then I encourage you to always be checking the Haven Connect or the resident portal for lots of fun and interesting things to do. I'm looking forward to see what Carol and Tyler have in store for us going forward. And I think I'm handing now over to Roger. Yes. We did not send anything out. So the question was, did Menno Haven send anything to residents about updating your personal information? We did not send anything out at this point yet. Okay. We will more than likely do that, and I believe we were thinking of doing that managed one-on-one alphabetically is how we were going to approach that. And so if you get a call from either Diane or Electa, it will be for that reason. We have to manage a little bit because we have like 700 plus residents that we captured a whole bunch of information, probably, I forget what the number was from the health fair itself, but we're just trying to get caught up on those. But we're in a big audience today, so if we didn't have your information, we wanted to get that out for you today. Okay? And I saw a hand over here. Okay, yes. If you updated information at the health fair, you do not need to do anything. We've got you, as long as you've given it back to us. And sometimes it's like everything's okay. Don't change anything. Those are the easy ones for us. Okay? Any other questions on my part? Okay, I'm going to hand over to Roger. The down arrow.
All right. We're on the home stretch, everybody. Okay. Yeah, this is a little awkward, isn't it? So, you probably all are very well aware that we're in the middle of Medicare open enrollment. And every year we send out that letter and tell people, who we're in network with and who we're not, and so on and so forth. And we always get a lot of questions from people who want to know about what's best for them. And as we always say, we're not really in a position here at Menno Haven to make those suggestions. So we did locate a gentleman, Joey Miller, who he's in full transparency, he works for Capital Blue Cross, but he is going to come out on Friday afternoon at 1:30 to do a Medicare 101 for anybody who may have questions or be interested in learning more about their options. Now, we were very clear that, he's not here to sell Capital Blue Cross. I'm sure if you want to hear about Capital Blue Cross afterwards, he'd be more than happy to give you his business card. But this is really intended to be more just an educational session and should be non-denominational in nature. So if you want to come out for that, please do. And we hope that it'll provide some good information for you. The other thing I wanted to share is that Menno Haven Rehabilitation Center has recently been recognized for being an age-friendly health system. So that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, we should be age-friendly. But this was an initiative that was started by the Hartford Foundation and hospital associations and such several years ago. But the piece that that makes this a little bit unique is that this follows what they're calling the 4 M's framework, and we had to apply to show that we were following this structure, which the 4 M's are revolving around what matters most. So when people come to the Menno Haven Rehab Center, they're asked what their goals are. Typically that's to go home. But, maybe it's not. Maybe it's that their goal is just to, get a little bit better so that they can move on to personal care or something. But we find out about what matters most to them. We're also very considerate about what kind of medications they're on, whether those medications are helping them with their goals, or in some cases they can be a hindrance. So we definitely review prescription medications very carefully. Another M is mobility. And as far as that's concerned, all the therapy services are gained to encourage people to be more and more mobile. And many times, by the time people leave the rehab center, they're stronger than they were before whatever took them to the hospital to begin with. And the last M is mentation. And I feel good that I got through those 4 M's without reading them, so my mentation must be up to snuff today. But we look at the cognitive health of the individuals that are there as well, and just try to help ensure that they are doing well in that respect. So both our Chambers Point Healthcare Center and our Brookview Healthcare Center are all also in the process of achieving this designation, but the rehab center was the first to get there, so we're really pleased for them. Another thing that's really cool and probably closer to home to us is that the Menno Haven Rehab Center has also been designated as a top performer within the WellSpan health system. And, I don't know if you're all aware of this or not, but the Menno Haven Rehab Center, by volume, is the #1 provider of post-acute services for all of WellSpan, not just in Chambersburg, but in York and everywhere else that they provide services. So achieving this designation was really significant achievement as well. This is based on some specific metrics that WellSpan measures all of their post-acute partners against, particularly unintended rehospitalizations, length of stay in the rehab center, the overall cost to the Medicare program, any number of the level of the acuity that we're able to work with and successfully discharge home. So there's a lot that goes into that, and they are rightfully proud to have achieved that designation. They're the only one in Chambersburg, I know for sure, and I'm not sure if there are any others out there or not. Then the last thing, again, I'm stumping for Branch Creek Place, and if you'll notice the lovely quilt over here, this was made by the Branch Creek ladies, the Quilt Warriors. They're also the same ladies who have provided all of the veterans quilts through the Folds of Honor program. Every year they make a bunch of quilts. I think there were like 8 or 10 last year that were created and given out to deserving veterans on Veterans Day. And so we are raffling off this quilt to help support the Branch Creek program, the Branch Creek Quilt Warriors. And I'll stick around after. There are one ticket for $1, 6 for $5, and I'll take IOUs. I know where you live. So look me up. I'll be right here. I've got, I was hoping to get rid of these by the end of the day today. So come see me. All right. And I think with that, we're on to the main event. Mr. Ryan Fritz, come on down.
Thanks, Roger. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just stand to the side here so I can see the slides. Today, what I'm presenting on is our first 9 months of the year ending September 30th, unaudited financials. As we can see here, we're exceeding our debt, our 2 bond debt two bond covenants that we have to meet. Sorry about that, got stumbled on my words. But our debt service coverage ratio is running at 1.27. Required is 1.2. It's a little lower than what we're used to seeing, but the Brookview Healthcare Center flooding with the lower census definitely has affected this as we go forwards. The next one, the days cash on hand, we have to be above 150 days. We're sitting at 341 days. Is it all right if I step down here?
The slides are up there on that big top.
Found them. Okay. This next slide is going to give us our performance. If we look here quickly, our operating revenue for the first 9 months was at $47.7 million. It's unfavorable to budget by about $321,000. And again, a lot of that has to do with our census from the Brookview healthcare flooding. Total expenses is at $55.4 million, unfavorable to budget, $850,000. I will go into a little bit of that detail here in the next 2 slides. And then our non-operating revenue is at $6 million, favorable to budget, $5.8 million. A lot of this is related to the market. We have $3.6 million of unrealized gains from investments, and we have $850,000 realized gains from the market there. And then our overall net decrease in assets is $1.6 million, favorable to budget, 4.7. But again, a lot of the investment activity is doing well. Okay, this one here actually is a little bit different. The handout, we have the numbers on the statement of operations, but we also have the balance sheet. But sometimes it's easier just to see, what's making up the revenue with a little bit of detail here. So we have $47.7 million of total revenue. We know that Medicare and Medicare Advantage makes up almost 21% of that. We then know MA, which I should have spelled out, medical assistance, makes up 5.7%, and then our private pay and skilled and rehab makes up about another 12.6%. Those three make up about 39 to 40% of our total revenue for that service line of nursing. Our next service line, personal care and memory care, makes up almost 24% of the revenue. And then contract amortization makes up 15.3. That's really the entrance fees there that we recognize over so many months. And then independent living at 14.7%. And then some smaller ones there with guest meals and catering and different things. Okay, looking at our expenses, this is the one that you can actually start to see the detail of what's going on. So we have $55.4 million of total expenses. We know that labor-related expenses makes up almost 51% of that. And I can tell you that the senior team back in December and January was looking at our health insurance because we were in a captive P-CHIP. We were looking to see if this was still the wisest thing to do, so we took it out to market. We actually pulled out of that captive as of 10/1 of 2025 of this year. The expected savings over 3 years is $1.2 million to Menno Haven, and we did not reduce anybody's what they were getting as benefits. We didn't increase what they had to contribute, so this was a win for us to take and strip that out. And I'll tell you, as we project the remainder of the year, as we were doing the budget, we expect to spend between $4.2 and $4.3 million on health insurance. Next year, with what they gave us for funding and a little bit of cushion in there, we're at $3 million, a little over $3.9 million. So we got about a $300,000 savings from where we're going to end this year. Had we stayed in the captive, we were looking at an 11 to 12% increase, so we would have jumped to $4.6, $4.7 million next year. So that was a huge win for the team here. The next largest item is depreciation. I'm going to call this non-cash because we we spend the cash on the assets and we expense it over the life. It may be 3 years, 10 years, depending on the asset. So the next one that uses our cash is interest. If anybody doesn't know, we have two bonds out there. We have a 2018 and a 2019 bond. Both of them total a little over $126 million. Right now, we have about $120 million out there that's still outstanding, but we will be making about a $1.8 million principal payment. We make those every December. So that'll bring us down to about $118 million of debt outstanding. But each year, those bonds actually retire in 2053 and 2054. But each year, we spend almost $7.7 million between interest and principal payments on those two bonds with that. Then the next service line is the nursing services. It's at 7.8. A lot of this is going to be medical director, prescription and over-the-counter drugs, supplies needed to take care of the residents, and therapy services like PT, OT, and speech. Sales and general administrations at 6.5%. This is going to be a lot of the things that's in administration, like advertisement. It's our auditing services for our annual audit, 990, which is our tax returns for a nonprofit, benefit audit, cost reports, and things like that. Our dues and subscriptions to APG, Leading Age, FSA, which is our compliance. And then we also have, I want to say about $100,000 that we spend on hiring people for background checks and physicals and different things. And then it's also our legal fees and consulting, software licenses like our Microsoft Office and other items. And then we have property taxes, and I wanted to mention this one here because that's about 3.3%. With the buildings that you've seen done over the past couple of years, this building and some of the others, the rehab and the new Brookview Healthcare Center, they actually came in and reassessed us. So some of them went down, some of them went up, but the net increase is about $100,000 to us from that. So we'll spend about $2.4 million on property taxes, $2.5 million next year as we look into 2026. And then the other one is utilities here. That one's mainly being driven by electricity. A lot of the rates have gone up. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed if you take care of your own electric bills with that. And then this one just kind of shows us what our expense per day is over the last 4 years and where we're at for 2025. And you can see, like at the end of 2024, we were at about $169,000. Through September, we're at $174,000 a day, about a 3.3% increase from where we were from last year. But when you go back to 2021, it's like, wow, we were at 141,000, and now we're at 174,000. The 3.3% for this year puts us just slightly over what the latest CPI was showing. This came from the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics. It's the bar graph form of it. But all items is sitting at 3%, and all items less food and energy sitting at 3%. And energy is a little bit of a I don't want to say it, but it's kind of messy because if you look at fuel, that's really where the decrease is coming in energy. Because if you look at electric, I think it's at 5.7, and pipe gas, which would be natural gas, is over 11%, those increases with it. This one here just goes back and looks at it over the past few years. Everybody that looks at CPI or hears the Fed speaking, the Feds really would like CPI at around 2%. The problem is we haven't hit 2% in years. I think that 3% is going to be that new 2%, or the 2%. 3% is going to be the new 2% with it. And with this, 3%. Social Security just announced, I think, a 2.8% increase for 2026, and for this year, they had given a 2.5% increase. Here is our rate increases by service line for 2026, you can see that it's not a flat rate across the board. What I can tell you is that we looked at each service line independently as we were doing the budget, and then we pulled these together to make sure that, one, we met our required bond covenants for the debt service coverage ratio and the days cash on hand, and then to be able to reinvest back into the Menno Haven community with that. We're finishing that up as we speak. It'll be going out to the Finance Committee either today or tomorrow for approval on, I think it's November 18th. But I will tell you, these increases give us about a $1.6 million increase in revenue. Our expenses are expected to increase by $1.7 million. So we got about a $100,000 shortfall there. But of the increase, $1 million is related to labor. The property taxes is $100,000. Utilities is $240,000. Our liability insurance is going up $54,000. Therapy services a little over $300,000, and then culinary around $140,000 for next year. This is based on our current census. If our new census for nursing for next year is budgeted at 137.8 is what we're taking to the Finance Committee, that would bring in additional $2 million to making up for that little bit of a shortfall. That gives us our required bond covenants as we move forwards with that. That would give us, with those increases, it would give us, going back to this prior one, we're at 3.3. It puts us at 3% for 2026. There's been some changeover in the IT department. I just wanted to give everybody an understanding of who's all in our IT department. Because a lot of you guys will see Ryan he is sitting in the tech bar, and he's the resident support. And if he can't answer it, he has other people that he can go to actually support it. But, you know, Steve left it a little over a year or two ago. We had Wes, and we had some other people in the tech bar. So just wanted to give everybody an update of who's who out there. I won't bore you with the technical of what each one's responsible for, but that is our tech team here at Menno Haven. The only other thing I wanted to piggyback on was something that Chuck said about the AV equipment. We have contracted with a vendor. They'll be here the week of November 17th to do the Brookview Healthcare Chapel. They will be then in on the week of December 1st for the Chambers Point Chapel to get that equipment installed. This one, we had 4 vendors come in and give us some quotes on it. Some of them didn't really look at it. They just wanted to sell us all new equipment and not really listen to what we were using it for. Those quotes have ranged from $65,000 to $170,000. So unfortunately, you know, we're going with the lower one because when they came in, they looked at our equipment. They said, this is what's going on. This is what you need for the system to work. We're in the final process of finalizing that quote, and I anticipate that that will be installed in early 2026. With that, I'll turn it back over to Tiffany for questions.
I thought it was interesting at our Chambers Point town hall this morning when we put up the slide that had the IT team on it. They were like, you know, what the heck? Like, there was usually only 2 people in IT, right? Steve and the tech bar. And I'm like, no. Right? No, there's always been, right? 5, 6, 7 of them. 7 was when we added on the resident support for the tech bar. So I just joked that those folks just have always been hidden. You just don't see them. They've been in various places throughout Menno Haven and moved, and they are currently housed in the basement of the operations center. That's where they like to be. So they are underneath Brian and his team in the billing department at the old administration building. Okay? So things that are on your mind.
I was wondering, when you do the updates on cottages available and all of that, if we could get the population of Menno Haven, not just independent living, but across the board, resident population.
Sure, we can definitely add that to Denise's slide as I'm looking at her. Yeah, that's interesting to know. I think it'd also be interesting for Tori that we have the population of how many team members as well.
This is just a question on policy or procedure. As hopefully we're all aging in place, as our health conditions are changing, et cetera, is there an actual published policy or procedures that we can look at that says we're in independent living today, but some event in our health care requires a change? And is there a definite procedure for how that is determined when we need to move to personal care or nursing care, et cetera?
That is a great question. I felt like for a long time it used to be my role. If I knocked on your door, you're like, oh, crud, right? Great, here she comes. But actually, I mean, we use what's called a level, is that what am I calling it right? Level of living tool? Yeah, so the level of living tool, which is, sort of a check kind of situation. And I've talked about this before, but we have what we call the CAT team, Continuing Care Action Team, which is an interdisciplinary group of individuals that meets routinely, that we talk about you. Especially if someone has gone out to the hospital, has raised their hand. We are starting to note things like increased pendant use, fire alarms going off more frequently, not just burning the bacon, because we all have done that. But that there's some sort of telltale things that are occurring. It's not we can't wait to get you on that list, right? It's not evil. It is what can we do to come alongside you and give you the resources and tools that you may need. We, of course, want you to be where you're the most happiest, but also the safest. A big, big red flag is if things are occurring that put yourself or your neighbors at risk. Okay? We're really going to come knocking on your door then. But if it's a question, you're asking the question, Mr. Burdick, so I feel like you're going to be someone that's going to be very proactive and kind of making those decisions ahead of time. But a lot of times, I joke that there's two kinds of people that are here at Menno Haven. Those that are very proactive or plan, like, hey, I want to raise my hand. I know I'm declining a little bit. My body's not keeping up with me. I want a choice of where I want to go in personal care. I want to get on the list a while. And then there's others, probably like me, not a good planner, who wait till a crisis occurs, right? And then when a crisis occurs, we are going to swoop in, help get you that assistance that you need, but it does decrease the choice, right? Because now it's just where can we quickly get you a bed and get you safe. So there is a whole team, especially looking at Jackie and at Samantha back there that are going, and Amy, that are all going to be a part of coming alongside you if that time does come. Okay, Denise, you got more to say?
Well, I was just going to point us to the conditions of occupancy for independent living, which is part of everyone's contract. So that's a document that maybe you want to take a look at, just to kind of familiarize yourselves with why we might knock on your door as we see the things that Tiffany has outlined. So that's part of it. And then we're also always revising, to your point, the Continuing Care Action Team. We have a Care Transitions team that's working through some of those process kinds of things and putting those in place.
Guys, can you shut that blinds back there? We got folks that are getting blinded back here.
Chuck mentioned an independent living leisure van. I was just wondering what that was.
Well, it's not here yet, so get your checkbook out. He is raising funds for an independent leisure van. We know that our 2019 van, which is our nimble van that we take for long distances, is a bear to get up and out of. Right, we had to rip the running board off so we could get it up to the curb because it ripped into the curbs all the time. We got these makeshift camper steps that they work, but not ideally. It's just not awesome. So we are looking to invest in a smaller, nimbler van that has sort of like the school bus not really, but you know what I mean. The nice little steps that are all integrated in. Okay, that's what we're raising funds for. So it's not here yet, but we understand that the 2019 van. I took the team members out for lunch one day, and we left the steps at home. I drove because it is quite a jump to get up in there. But good question, Chair. Other things on your mind?
Thank you. We had, ooh, whoa, that was loud, wasn't it? We had this discussion. When you get your monthly increase, which we just got recently, what is that increase? I know what it's based on. That's not what I mean. Is there something about the square footage of your cottage that determines what your initial one was?
Well, you're talking two different things. You're talking your monthly service fee and you're talking your entrance fee. Your entrance fee is based on square footage. Bigger the unit, bigger the entrance fee. Your monthly service fee is going to be based on, I'm thinking of like the Renaissance. So the Renaissance has a very high monthly service fee because it is all inclusive. Those folks do not get an additional electric bill. Their housekeeping, laundry is included, and a large communal meal at lunchtime. That make sense?
Well,
Did I answer your question? Okay. So we know that, so folks that reside in the villas.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Do all the cottages pay the same thing that I pay?
Yes.
No matter what size their cottage is, whether they have a garage or don't have a garage? Or
Yes.
No. They're saying no.
If it's a villa, that is not a cottage. Villas have a higher monthly service fee. North Gate apartment building has a higher monthly service fee. But if your cottage versus another cottage, garage or no garage, same monthly service fee, there would be a significant difference in the entrance fee. Denise wants to.
I'm going to borrow this for a second.
Okay.
Because this goes back to the presentation, if you remember last year, at one point when we talked about grandfathering in. So monthly service fees are based on unit type. So as Tiffany outlined, it is Renaissance apartments, Northgate apartments have their own, people who live in villas have their own, designation for cottages have their own. Prior to 2017, there were many different contracts. And as the contract evolved over time, we grandfathered some people in. So it's based on the same principle of the unit type, right? Cottage, villa, apartment. But there may be some differences in the dollar amounts based on when you entered the continuum at Menno Haven.
But if I moved in 2020 in a cottage, and you moved in 2021 in a cottage, our monthly service fee is going to be the same.
Correct. There's no differentiation between a garage or not in a
Right.
cottage.
Yes.
So does that satisfy your answer? Is that the answer you're looking, well, not the answer you're looking for, but does that clarify it? Come see me. Sandy's going to have a one-on-one with me.
Okay. I just feel like there's something underlying there that I haven't hit yet. That
Then
you're still
also,
curious.
we do also offer a retirement discount.
Correct.
For team members who we've retained for a long period of time for their, they have to have retired from Menno Haven, and they have to have retired at least 10 years. And so there is some discounting in that. But other than that, everybody's vanilla. Mm-hmm. Okay? Okay. I think she's going to go over there, but then you're going to come in.
Are you talking percentage? Everybody's percentage is the same? Because the dollars certainly aren't.
We weren't talking percentage. We were just talking flat, cottages to cottages, villas to villas, Northgate apartment. The monthly fee. Ask me your question, Ann. Let's get it out. I'm an open book. You moved in the same time? Same year? And your increase is the same? Ask me your question again then. No. Okay. Yes? Right, prior to 2017. Yes. Yeah, the increase is a percentage. So if you were grandfathered in at the prior to 2017 rate, you got the 4.5% increase on that rate. If I moved in 2018, here's my monthly service fee. It has increased at that 4.5% rate. It all should be the same. Okay? Yes?
I don't know if this fits, but I've been trying to get a hold of Maria, the hairdresser.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to know where.
Does anybody know where Maria the hairdresser is? Have anybody seen her? Huh? Yeah, I know she was down at the rehab. Yeah.
And then I got you.
Maybe check in at the rehab.
All right, we got
I think
got a
Monday.
file.
I think Monday afternoons she's there.
follow up here.
Go.
Okay. The new cottages or villas or whatever they are on Scotland Road
Villas.
and across the way,
Uh-huh.
when are we going to get a map that includes those addresses for
In the works.
We're in the process of updating the map and the marketing materials.
Wouldn't a 1 or 2 person occupancy affect the service fee?
Yep.
Yeah, that was just what I was going to say. If we get into where we're asking, like, what do you pay a month? Okay, well, that depends a lot. Besides, you've got your regular monthly fee, which we just had an increase of, but is there one person in the cottage? Are there 2 people in the cottage? Okay, you have a two-person fee. Okay, what's your meal plan? Okay, you may not have a meal plan if you got grandfathered whenever that happened, but you might have the lowest possible meal plan. You might have a meal plan for one person. You might have the highest meal plan. So when you get that monthly statement, it can vary a lot.
Sure.
From family to family, person to person, across the campus.
Yep.
Based on those things.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Did we beat that to death? We'll revive it. I'm good at CPR. I'll bring it back if you still have questions. I want you to be clear. It's important to me that that you're confident in what we're talking about. Other things on your mind? Everybody got your Thanksgiving reservations in? All right. Me too.
I just want to give kudos to the Menno Haven at Home people who took care of my Miss Pixie while I was away on a cruise. And they did such a fine job spoiling her to death that she now eats earlier. So thank you very much, Menno Haven at Home. We really appreciated your help.
I got you right here. Oh, no, the back side.
Following up on kudos, a shout out to the amazing culinary team that continues to perform miracles here for us day in and day out. They catered my 80th birthday and did a bang-up job. So thanks to Brian and to Ty and that amazing team. Boy, do we feel spoiled.
Yes. Coming back to you, Frank. Over here.
I'd like to give a shout out to Ryan in the Tech Center. I knew he's only a senior in high school. He's very personable, and he fixes everything. Of course, I don't know how to do it. He does it so quickly.
Yes, yes. He is a lifesaver for sure. Okay.
How many people have 401k plans?
That feels like a loaded question. The answer is going to be, why are you asking that? What are you going to follow? What are you going to follow up with that on?
Well, I think it would behoove Menno Haven to have a knowledge of how many people have it, so they can best explain how effectively they can use their dollars, even to contributing money to
The banana bread.
and they can do it right now before the end of the year. You don't have
Yes.
to wait till the end of the year.
Yes.
It really is so important. So many people don't really understand how flexible your RMDs are, and how if you give it to a 501c3,
As you leave, make sure
Yes.
that you see Electa if you have not updated your personal information sheet.
Frank was just affirming what Chuck spoke to you about those that have 401ks. He talked about the IRAs as well when Chuck was up, your RMDs, and how there is just a plethora, that's my favorite word, a plethora of options that you can give to nonprofits that help your tax situations. So reach out to Chuck. He is a pro at that and can help come alongside you to benefit the greater good.
For those of
Thank
you who are leaving, if you have not updated your personal information sheet, please see Electa.
Don't make Denise tackle you at the door.
I don't think so.
All right, everybody, we're losing the crowd. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great afternoon.